Will Smith, as of late has been, he's been a little, obviously kind of been on the low, right? But he popped up on a podcast, this podcast called a Full Send podcast by this group called Nelk. Nelk is this group there, like big with like vlogs and pranks and things like that. But yeah, he popped up on their podcast recently. I think maybe like a week or so ago. And it's also kind of rare because Will Smith, that's a rare appearance for Will Smith to make, especially like to go on a podcast.
I feel like I've been hearing
Um,
a couple of different things from him, but I mean,
yeah,
especially like he got a movie to promote, so
yeah, that too. So it kind of
you're
makes, so
gonna
it's
be
probably
out and
part of a
about.
press run and all that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it kind of does make sense, but it's interesting. They kind of dived into his psyche a little bit and like just where he is emotionally, psychologically in this time of his life, with his kids being grown and all the different things that occurred in the past several years and with Jada and all that. And basically what this article was really basically pointing at is that Will Smith he felt like he's reached a place of, and I call it nirvana because the way that he described it is like, it's like, I'm in a stage of my life where like I'm pretty much downsizing, right? I've attained everything that I could ever attain in life, financially, fame, connections, all these different things. And I realized that honestly, like I'm at a point where like, these things aren't necessarily what makes me happy. It's more of having balance, being mentally stable, being in a,
Man,
but this
that
and this
that
hold on, this
sounds
is what I
like
want to say.
some rich
Bro,
nigga shit
it's
if
and
I
that's what I was
ever
gonna say. I was gonna
heard,
say it's
dog.
easy for a guy who's worth over $350
Easy,
million
dog.
dollars to say all that. Like, come on, bro, that's
I,
cap, bro.
I, I, I.
That's cap, bro. Like,
It's a lovely thought. Will Smith is a lovely man. I
yeah,
know, what I mean. He stepped
yeah,
out of line a little bit. He regrets it because he's a decent human being.
mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah. Slapping fire to
he's
Chris Rock.
he's he's reflecting and he's doing
Yeah,
the therapy. He's doing the work. Okay,
yeah,
I get it. Yeah, but
yeah.
it also the money helps.
The money,
The
yeah,
money
the money
helps.
helps a lot. Let's come on.
Come on, the money
let's
helps.
let's keep it
Right?
real. Like, yeah, when
Like,
you're at a place where you can afford everything twice over in the world and
yeah.
not be hurting, like, come on, bro. Like, we know that your level of comfort and reaching a place of nirvana and just a place of bliss is really because of pretty much your position in society at this point. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Like, he even talked about like he actually really enjoyed being famous. Like, he says one of the things that, but he talked about it in a way where he was like, it's fame in a way where like people know who you are everywhere you go, and you can always just spark up a conversation with folks. You always can have a good vibe with folks. And I'm like, I can see how you're trying to spin it.
Yeah.
I can say you're trying to spin it to make it seem like it's a glorious thing in that way. Which I can understand. There can be some positive effects, right, to being famous, right?
And
But at the
in
same
general, he
time, but like,
uses it. He
but
uses his
it's
powers for good
yeah,
in general.
and that's what he was getting. He's like, I use that for good, and I'm like, it is dope because there are people who would never come across you, but you pop up on them in a movie theater, right? We saw it on
Hmm.
IG, like he was watching Bad Boys movie in a movie theater with some random folks, and then when there was like when everybody left after the movie was over, he's just gonna, hey, you guys like the movie, and everybody recognized, oh, it's Will Smith, and. So there could be like an ego thing there too, which
But
obviously there
also,
is an ego
again,
thing,
sounds like
but
a press run.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it's probably,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, so it's more of that. But like, I just thought it was well, I thought it was cap. Really, a lot of it. I can understand what message he was trying to get out there.
Yeah.
As far as like, hey, these things don't make you happy, which for the most part is true, right? But money helps a lot.
Yeah.
money helps a lot. Even in scripture, if you're a person who believes in that stuff, even in scripture, like it says, there's a scripture that says money answers everything. Like literally, it says that in scripture. Like it says
Well,
like money
and
money answers
the
everything. So
thing
it's
is
like
like the thing is
there's
like
so there's
okay,
a role
money.
that it plays
Well,
having
they say money
revenue.
don't buy happiness. Okay, right? Money don't buy
It don't have
happiness, but
it
money
don't buy
does
happiness.
buy air conditioning.
It
Money
does.
money does buy
Does
food from
buy.
a fridge. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it does buy these,
Yeah.
and those things
Mhm.
make me happy. Having air
Yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah.
You know what I
Like
mean?
it provides me a house that I can live in, a place to sleep. It
Yeah,
provides me,
that
so it's
makes me
like,
happy. And like
yeah.
being poor don't provide that stuff.
It doesn't. It doesn't actually.
It really
so
doesn't
so
provide that stuff.
so it's like, come on, bro. Like I feel you, but I don't. Like I feel you, but I don't. Like we all kind of know what it is. But anyways, that's really his place of nirvana. But
He had to
we
go.
know
He
we
had to go all the way around the
let's
scripture
go.
to realize that
Just
he didn't. He didn't get that when he was broke. When he's poor.
nah,
Later
no,
on,
he get that. He didn't get that.